10:01, we'll call this meeting Wichita County Commissioners Court order. If everyone please rise. This time I'd like to call on Commissioner Jeff Watts to give the invocation.
Pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to come together this morning in a free country and do the business of this county, Father. We thank you so much for the wonderful rain that we've received in the last few days. And Father, we just thank you for all of our blessings that you give to us each and every day. Father, be with those that protect us, surround them, keep them in the palm of your hand, Father. Be with those overseas that keep this country free, Father. We ask that you forgive us of all of our sins and where we fall short. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Y'all join me in the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas pledge, please. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Take your seats, please. If I could ask the court to take action on the consent agenda.
Judge, I would like to pull one down if we could.
Yes, sir.
That's the item 13, just to discuss briefly.
I had a couple of questions on that myself, Judge.
Okay.
I talked about it earlier, but just make sure everybody's on the same page.
I can't believe as vague as that item is. You had questions on it. It's perfectly clear to Commissioner Beach and I mean, we were in the meeting, but okay. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't. It should have been down. I just didn't do that when I was making the agenda. Anything else, sir?
Other than that, I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda with the exception of discussing further number 13.
Second.
Okay. Thank you all. Motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the consent agenda with the removal of item 13 down to general business. Any other comments or questions? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Okay. Let's talk about item number 13. I don't know who got this ball originally rolling when Mr. Kelty was interested in that parking garage and how we could make it available to him and some different things like that. Well, the only way to have done that was to either go out for some sort of bids for purchase or for lease. And there's a lot to have to be done to that before it can be used if it was going to be used for public parking. There's estimates of $285,000 to better than $300,000 on how much it would take to put the elevators back in service, put all the electrical and stuff back in there. And I told them we weren't interested in doing that. We weren't going into the commercial parking business. And but then the downtown committee, Sam Pack, came to me and said, you know, would that be made possibly available some way? I also had some more talks with, I think, Commissioner Watts, you were in on some of them, and then
Right.
Commissioner Beecham. And what kind of developed was then maybe through the 4B board that we could transfer ownership to them as another governmental, quasi-governmental agency. Then they could, as part of economic incentive, make that available. So we met with the city, we met with Tony Fidelli, chairman of the 4B board. We talked about some of that. I told them one of our issues would be in it is we wanted to preserve some parking for the Museum of North Texas History or some other activity the county might have that we wanted 30 to 35 spaces available in it. Second, that if we transferred the building to them, they did all the improvements, and let's say 2 or 3 years from now they had an opportunity to sell it, then they would take their investment, our $600,000 investment in it, add those together, and then prorated on any sale of it that we'd take back, but we would have the right to decline that if they came back in for something at $200,000, we might not want to do that. But that's what, I haven't seen, there's not a final document, but the request was that we could make this very similar in an effort that we intend to do this under the right guidelines, much like we do the letters to a business wanting to come in here. I sign a letter that says, with the court's approval, this is what we would do. But it's to help him go ahead and secure his financing and move on. And our decision would be whether to ask for that $90,000 to be paid to us, or we go ahead and pay it out and then get it back on you. We have the money in the bank. We set it aside for that. It's in the interest and sinking fund to do that. But none of those details, and we're not bound anything, we'll bring back the document, but we hope to do that to give him an effort to move on in good faith as far as the bank's concerned. That give you enough information?
Yeah. And so we would have either some form of first right of refusal or a prorated acceptable amount in the event that the building was ever came into play as far as being sold or something along those lines.
Yes, sir.
There would be a right of refusal.
Well, we can put it in there if that's what y'all want, but what I was trying to do was at least get him something to meet the deadline they had, which today was whether it seemed apparent he would have parking.
And could we modify this motion to include that final document come back to us for approval after pending councils?
Yeah.
We'd like that. Well, one of the concerns I had, Judge, and you and I discussed this briefly earlier this morning, was, and I've thought about it a lot over the weekend, knowing it was on the agenda this morning, and right up front, let me tell you, I'm all in to do whatever I can to help the downtown revitalization deal, and this seems to be a key component in that. But I do have some concerns, and the big concern is that we own property in downtown Wichita Falls that if somewhere down the road is to become part of that revitalization deal, will it have value without the attached parking that we own now? And I've got a little concern about that because
We are retaining some of the parking spaces for our personal, or for our use.
And my question is that enough? And I think that right of refusal does it. Because here's the way I look at it, and we can't make a lot of long-range plans as a commissioner's court. We're bound by law not to do that in many ways. But you think about it this way, within the next 2 years with the new law enforcement center coming online, we're going to solve some of what I thought might be potential uses for that Lindemann building, the main one being jury assembly. And I think we've got a basic plan in place as to how we're going to do that. And it's much needed, and we need to do it. I think it's going to work really good inside this building after that happens. We've got long-term storage there. We're going to vacate a good bit of the 4th and 5th floor of this building that's not going to really be useful for much else than long-term record storage.
Correct.
If we could, and I'm not saying that's what we need to do, but I think that could be one of the possibilities. And then you've got evidence storage, and if we have what we're developing out at the law enforcement center, Commissioner Harvey, you're getting your project that you've been working on close to being online, I think we're going to be able to take that over. So at that point, what use does the Lindemann building long-term serve this county? And would we be better off to put it back on the tax roll, sell it to somebody, and hopefully that value would be better with this downtown revitalization program? And I think that hinges around having parking available. That's my concern, just looking at it from a long-term deal. I don't know that any of those things are going to come true. I think some of them will, maybe not all of them, but I want to be very sure that we don't limit the value of that building by letting go of the golden egg that's attached to it.
I think transferring it to 4B actually does that, because 4B would have a vested interest in seeing that any development in the future would have access to that garage, rather than transferring it to a private company or individual.
Well, I mean, that's it. Once you do that, you're out of the
4B
game.
would still, they would still own the property.
Yeah.
They would control the property. And
Well, the way the draft-
lease it out however they see fit for downtown development.
And I'm not wanting to slow the progress down. If we can be a player in that, be helpful,
Yeah,
I'm all for that. And but I don't want to limit ourselves for
No.
for property that we own. and I've got a concern.
There's-
And if we do get to look at the final document, that gives me a little bit of comfort in the fact that we're gonna get to know exactly how this is gonna play out.
Right.
I think it's a good win situation for us. It helps us participate in the downtown development and get property back on the tax roll.
Oh, yeah, that's gotta
What,
be a go.
what are
And
we,
stimulate some of the development down there.
what do we anticipate the number of parking slots in that facility? Do we have an estimate?
I've heard 200 and I've heard 225. and I
Okay, somewhere
haven't-
around that number then.
Chief, you're. Okay. I can see you counting in your head. I didn't know how many you
Yeah,
were
I'm
going to
trying
come
to
up
think.
with. But there's a lot to have to be done with that. The thing we
yeah.
could do on that 30 that we want for now, we could put a caveat in there that, and I don't know how many, they have a deal on how many parking places you're supposed to have for a building based on square footage. Okay. Lindemann Building, the 2 floors above ground, might have some deal for future office space, somebody wanting to buy it. Not sure what the basement would do. But the Museum of North Texas History has a 50-year lease. So it's going to be a while before that would be likely to happen, that somebody would buy it and take on that. I guess we could prorate them back the years we've got the $50 for.
Well, that North Texas History Museum to me is an integral part of that downtown revitalization. It fits perfectly,
Yeah, it
so I don't necessarily see that it would have to go away, even if we did something different. with
Well,
that building.
but one
once
of-
again, just wanting to
Yes.
protect our future interests and.
But that Museum of North Texas History, one of the reasons it does well, we pay the utility bills.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're prepared to take over that several $1,000s a month between the,
I don't
Gas,
have a lot
electricity,
of,
water.
yeah, I don't have a lot of heartburn over if we're gonna get to look at the final document. We're gonna have time to do some more study and look at it, so I mean, I don't.
If you go in the front door at the museum, can you make access to the second and third floors?
yes,
Is there a
sir.
stairwell there?
There's stairwells,
Okay,
front and back,
okay,
and an elevator at the back.
okay.
Yeah, I'd like to see that museum expand and grow. It's a great asset to our community, and that, that would have to be part of the consideration. Anyway, I just want to make sure we don't do something that we'll regret down the road, and it sounds like we've got some protection built into this as we move forward, so.
Well, Judge, I'd make the motion, then we move forward and let council review the pending agreement, and then the commissioners take action on it once it's built.
Okay.
But for the record, it is our intent. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we would be forwarding over a document of intent.
Well, just
transfer.
so Mr. Kelty can,
Well, I will, if this is agreeable, I'll send him a letter saying we are working on, our intent is to make that available to the 4B board after the conditions of transfer are reached.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments by anyone in the audience? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, we're down to item number 1 is review and approve the regular bills for payment.
We reviewed the bills on Friday, in our Friday session. I make a motion that we pay our bills.
Thank you.
Second.
discussion.
Motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Beecham to approve the bills. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
We had a bill in there for $297 because the ice machine didn't work. It said on the report that the ice machine repair guy turned the water on and it works fine. But I know that we have maintenance people or somebody that we can say, hey, even the supervisors, somebody turned the water off for a purpose, I'm sure, and then they just didn't turn it back on. So we got stuck with
Okay,
paying a $300 bill
Where was the ice machine?
in the kitchen, in the jail. And it kind of aggravated me when I saw that. And another one that I saw that I think we need to talk about is it seems like everybody in the county's got their own subscription to the Time Record News. And the one I saw was for the Emergency Management Office. I don't know the purpose for them to get the newspaper every day. I get mine on my phone. Just, that was $211, and I thought we could probably not spend. So,
The online version is a lot less, but you didn't call them and ask whether there's any particular reason they had that.
no, I need to, I haven't.
Yeah.
I just was trying to think of what purpose they would need to have a $211 cost for the Time Record News. Just curious about that.
Okay, let's go back to the bill for $297. I can understand a service call. I think the first two things you ever do is, one, is it plugged in, and if it's an ice machine, two, is the water on. Now, what's the other $197 for?
While he was there, he went ahead and replaced the filter,
Man,
which we do at our shop, just screw it off,
yeah,
change it, and screw it back on. I
Okay.
mean, it's like real simple. It just, nobody looked.
okay.
Nobody looked to find out why the ice machine wasn't working. And they just,
Well, and that's probably something one of the inmates could have done to be funny.
As far as I've heard of this, I'm
Okay.
aware of it, so.
But I really think there ought to be a call made to the provider. Andrew?
I see work orders and maintenance repairs done on ice machines all the time by our guys, so I'll check into it and I'll find out why we had anybody come in to look at the ice machine in the first place. But, I mean, let me work on it. As far as I'm concerned, our folks fix it. So I don't know why somebody would come and take a look.
If you would, because
Do you know what facility it was in? By chance?
well, if it was in the kitchen, it's
in
it's
the
gotta be-
jail.
I know we have two ice machines.
there's one here and one out there.
Yeah, I can figure it out. I just didn't know if you
Well-
know off the top of your head.
Well,
Why don't
where
we-
the bill's at, we can pull it, and
What's the vendor's name?
I think it was Wagner Restaurant Supply, I think.
Okay.
I don't know where the bills are at, usually. They're there.
Have you already taken those down, Mr. Hampton, or are they on?
I got them,
He's got them.
right
Okay.
there in my car.
Okay.
I'm sneaking around.
I'll have maintenance look at it.
They wouldn't hand that to you?
I just get it. So.
Okay. All right, any other comments on the bills? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is discuss and review jail maintenance projects and work orders. Lieutenant Spiegel.
Well, until just now, there wasn't anything that was a big deal.
Oh, it's fixed, it's fixed. Ice machine's fixed, so
Okay.
it's not a work order.
You guys have the report. Do you have any questions on last week's report?
No.
Okay.
I saw your maintenance guys in the hall, and I just stopped and just said, you know, guys, I appreciate you a whole lot, and told them that they were, I think, on top of it, doing a great job, and I like the way that they're rigged out with their toolbox. They have everything they need right there. They take it everywhere they go, and I think they got it going on, and I took the opportunity to tell them I was proud of what they're doing.
Well, good. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I'm
Yeah.
positive they appreciated it. They do work hard. They've got a good system going. I just sit back and they just
Rock
hand
and
me-
roll.
They just hand me pieces of paper, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
So they do a good job.
They do a good job, and they pay attention to detail. I mean, you don't have to tell them, hey, let's paint that, or it's starting to rust up. You know, they just do it.
They do.
So,
All right, thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
Item number 3, discuss, consider, take action to accept an Associated Supply Company Incorporated quote of February 12, 2018 in the amount of $15,800 for a multi-quip AR 14H 36-inch double drum roller for Precinct 2 with payment of approved from the 222.220501 capital expenditures and authorize county auditor to issue the purchase order. Commissioner
so
Harvey,
moved.
is there a second?
Lee, let me interject on that. I have 2 sheet foot rollers, and I'd sure give you one of them.
This is not a sheep's foot
This
roller.
not, these are
Oh.
flat wheel rollers.
This is a 2
Well-
steel wheel rollers, and it's really small.
Roller wheel.
It's got one on the front, one on the back. It's for patching. I bought the saw to cut out the potholes
It's
and the,
one behind the other.
yes, sir.
Wheel?
And it's small.
Okay.
And it's for patching
That's
potholes.
different than, because I have 5 rollers and I'd sure let somebody use one.
Yeah, I've got 2 big sheep's foot rollers that we use to pack roads with.
Is this a new or a used piece?
It's a new piece of
Did you get
equipment.
any other bids? from-
Sure did.
Okay.
Kirby Smith was one of them. They were like $4,000 higher. And this is on the buy board.
Second.
Second?
Second.
Second, okay.
Okay. Okay. Motion by Commissioner Harvey, second by Commissioner Beecham to approve the item as stated. Any other comments?
Can I use it when you get it?
Absolutely.
If I vote for this, do I get barring rights?
Yes, you do. We all do.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 4 is discuss and consider take action to authorize cell phone allowance of up to $50 per month starting March 1st, 2018 for Precinct 2 employee Sam Crabtree for use of personal cell phone for business purposes with county auditor to establish a budget line 222.240.1217 cell phone allowance in the amount of $500 for 2018 by transfer from available Precinct 2 Department 240 lines. Devin, doesn't that have to run through payroll on that reimbursement like that, or do you recall?
Yeah, let's do payroll.
Is that what you wanted to do, Willie?
If it's reimbursement, he has to submit it.
He has to submit a bill, okay, yeah. But,
It's still payroll.
Okay, so it's a cell phone allowance. So, well, that's how he's got it worded. That's my motion.
but why, okay, why does he need it? What is his function that he,
He's the assistant foreman, and we wear him out on that phone.
what's wrong with the two-way radio?
Well, I don't have one.
I can understand that.
I don't either.
I don't know. But it just was something that Donald asked me to do, and I thought it was acceptable. I don't know why I wear him out on that phone. So that's my motion.
Is that supposed to be Department 220 or is it 240, Willie?
240 is Precinct 4.
It's precinct 2.
That's supposed to
Well,
be.
222,
It's a typo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 240.
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, let's leave it at 240. 240 is fine, that's a good number.
Put
Dad
one in
gum.
there too, Judge. if
Cotton
it's coming
picking
up.
Jeff had to figure that out.
well, now, 222,
220.
220, but
It's 220.
it's a hybrid budget item, the way it's written.
Almost got 3.
Okay,
Well, we zoned to something
You
there
went
for a minute.
second.
all right. Is there a second?
Yes.
Thank you.
Dang it, Jeff.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 5, discuss and consider take action to appoint Amanda Cameron as the Human Resources Director at a salary commensurate with the position.
Judge, I put this on the agenda, but I'd like to table it for right now.
Okay?
I'll get with you. This is not bad. It's all good. Just want to table this for this time.
Well, I don't know whether you read that letter of engagement thing we did with Amanda, but look at that, because we set up some different timeframes and parameters and some things to be done. I'm not sure.
Well, I need to see that letter.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
Well, you got it. I think you got a copy when we did it, but we'll get you another one.
She doesn't want- But we'll look at it. Okay.
I think we received a very favorable report last Friday.
Well, there was a deal of visiting all offices, and she sent us a couple of those. I don't think you've sent them on all the offices that you visited to set up things and kind of do that report. Was one of the things we talked about. Correct. You were going to visit with all departments? I don't know, you've sent us some, I'm recalling an email.
Well, there's a couple of them that I obviously spent more time with than the other ones, but I've been with all of the offices at least once in the last 2 months.
Okay. My
Just some
crystal
of them
ball
need more
didn't tell
attention
me.
than others, so.
Right, I
Yes.
know, you gave us a report on the two major offices, the sheriff and the auditor's office, and you worked with them.
Right.
Okay. Okay, items.
We wouldn't move on with this.
Item 6, the person putting on asked to table it and remove it, so.
All right.
Okay, item 6, discuss, consider, or take action to approve cleaning services for the Precinct 2 Substation Tax Office and Justice Peace Office be provided by Becky Knox at a flat rate of $150 per month starting March 12th, 2018, to be paid from, you've got here Precinct 2 supplies and operations budget, but you said.
Yeah, it's not mine, it's JP's office and the tag office.
Yeah,
Now, Lee, that's for once a week service?
2 hours a week, sweeping, mopping, dusting.
That's just really, 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 really cheap. And after going touring, looking at the lock deal, I mean, I sure think we need to,
Well, maybe Becky will do a good job.
well,
well, you might.
but what we don't
check
have is a
that.
list of what she's supposed to do, and we didn't have that because the other lady had been doing it since the building was built, I think, but,
I think she's had 15 years.
yeah. So,
Well, you might just kind of watch it and see. But
Okay.
that is, I think, where the marketplace is, it's probably, I would suspect no cheaper than $75 a trip out there, or $75 a
Well,
cleaning.
Well,
gonna-
she's gonna clean it during
Go
her
ahead.
regular work hours. We're just gonna increase her pay by $150 a month.
Oh, she already works there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she'll just do, that'll be an added duty to her job. Then it
That
won't be
way,
any
yeah.
overtime or anything.
no overtime, the taxes, because she's not a contractor, so it can't be separated out. But I agree with you.
Okay.
That's a favorable rate. Okay. Need a motion and a second.
That's my motion.
Thanks, sir.
Second.
My motion was to add $150 per month to her current salary, and she will clean the offices during her regular 40-hour work week.
Okay. Any comments or questions? All in favor, sir?
It's Department 520, where it's posted, 520.
He's asking you a question.
I don't know the answer to that.
No, Willie's stating that it's Department 5.
Well, but is it all going to come out of
But
5?
it'd have to be transferred back to precinct 2.
It's really,
No, she's JP 2, have to be transferred back to the precinct 2 budget.
It's not going to be a transfer, it's going to come out of her budget. So it's going to be a transfer out of some of her lines unless
570.
she and Tommy split that cost.
Where's it coming from now?
Right now, it's probably coming 520 building maintenance. Or as you're saying, then 520 could transfer it to Judge Viavotny, and then we wouldn't, because that's budgeted as part of the building expense and it's not assigned to either. No, that's the cleanest way to do it. Thank you, Willie.
Willie, you'd think you'd done this before.
yeah.
Okay, we're down to item number, wait, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign, carries 5-0. Okay, item 7 is discuss and consider take action to post a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit signs on Quail Ridge Road and Covey Lane. Commissioner Beecham, is
That
that
should
your?
be 40, not 45. It's But that's a quasi-residential area that's not posted, it's like it was posted.
Is that the one out off of Old State?
Off of Old State, yeah. It's
Very
partially-
nice subdivision going in there.
It's partially within Wichita County and it exits into Archer County and back into our county, so it's not posted at all.
I'm just curious, how do you arrive with the speed limit? I don't know how that works, but how do you arrive with this speed limit?
Normally, when I worked at the city, I would do a long-term speed study and find out that information, but it's not required as a commissioner's court, the supporting documents are in here showing that. We come up with a speed that is considered safe, prudent, and reasonable. So it's consistent with other residential type areas within that part of the county, so it's.
Well, Mark, are those county roads or are they subdivision home roads?
They're on my road list, so.
Oh, they were accepted that plat and they were built by the non-existing standards.
So they're ours to always tend to.
Yes.
Yes.
I guess the south end of that too is Archer County.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
It exits into Archer County, then comes back into Wichita County, so.
Chief Rutledge was bringing it up a while ago when we first saw that 45 was.
Yeah, 45 is the typo. It's-
Yeah.
It's a gravel road, is it not?
No,
No,
it's
they're
just-
paved roads.
Oh, okay. Couldn't remember.
But how far is it between houses? How big are those?
40.
The houses are close, the houses are close together, but they're far off the road, so I think 40 is a good safe speed.
When Andrew was here, he helped me do a bunch of research on how you go about the stuff. Did you get the part about having to post it 2 weeks prior? A sign that says
Yeah,
on this such and such date, this speed limit's gonna change to 40? Well, I mean, that's part of the requirement. And if I understand, if you drop it below 45, maybe it's 30.
It's 30.
Is it 30 that you have to have a public meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
30.
Didn't we post, Lee, something on you before not that long ago?
Yeah, we did,
On River Road.
no, River Road, you had already done River Road.
That's right.
We did it on Vaughn Road. And we posted 45 miles speed limit signs. But Andrew told me that I had to put a sign up, a couple of signs, one each way, that says on such and such date, the speed limit on this road will change to 45 mile an hour. And it had to be up there for, I think, 10 days, something like that. And
I thought I
then
remembered.
after you do that, then you can go and put up your stuff. Just simple. Nothing to it.
Okay. Is that your motion, Commissioner Beecham?
Yes, it is.
I'll be my second.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Beecham, second by Commissioner Harvey to post take the action and follow procedure to post a 40 mile per hour speed limit on Quail Ridge Road and Covey Lane. Any other comments? Thank you all for your input. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 8 is discuss, consider, or take action on bid proposals for Precinct 2 project opened on February 26, 2018, to negotiate with J.D. Powell Construction on project specifications, pricing, and contract terms and other selected proposers if needed, with a decision on projects to be made within 3 weeks.
That's my motion. I want to start negotiating with the low bid. It was 68,000 something, and everybody else was, one of them was 200,000.
Yeah, I
So-
think that's the one you ought to get.
Yeah, no, I just can't afford that. It's just a carport, you know?
Yeah, I know. I
So-
just wondered about that.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, that's what I want to do. That's my motion.
Okay. Did we get, will you bring, as you finish this, then when you come back, we'll all have copies of everything? 'Cause none of us got copies of the bids when you.
Oh, we just opened them right here.
Yeah,
Willie
yes,
has
sir.
them.
Yeah. But when we come back to approve it, then let's, you
Okay.
know, those bids plus whatever terms you work out, and I'm gonna bet you those are gonna be good.
I hope so.
Okay, so I'm not sure, we've got that on for action, and that's what you requested, but
I just wanna,
quite frankly, that's within your call to wait on that. We can go ahead and take the action since you got it there.
I just know that we promised the people, all the other bidders last week, that we'd wait a week and make a decision. And so that's why I put this on here, is because
Okay.
I wanted to go into contract negotiation with the low bidder.
Okay. But this allows you and other selected proposers if needed, so,
Well, I didn't word this, so I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe it means that, if I can't work out a
yeah,
deal with him, I can go to other selected proposers. Huh?
That's the fallback, if you don't
Yeah.
work it out.
Okay.
Foul.
okay. And you have a motion, who's seconding it?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, motion by Commissioner Harvey, second by Commissioner Watson, to approve the item as stated. Any other comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We're down to public comments. Anyone in the audience? Sheriff, good to see you.
Quickest commissioner's court for me, I'm ready to go. Got tied up.
Okay, no comments. All right, Commissioner Beecham,
I have nothing.
Commissioner Harvey.
You missed, one thing, Sheriff, is, we were really tooting the horns of your maintenance guys. Those guys are really doing a good job. And, we appreciate that a lot.
In fact, one of the, I was asked today, if instead of every week, to check the weekly work orders, and we maybe drop back to once a month, because the way they've been keeping them wrapped up with zero.
Yeah.
That's fine, support, we may just do that, or once every 2 weeks or something, just to.
Yeah, or if there's an exceptional item problem that we
Yeah,
need.
yeah.
That's really what I think we're starting to look for now, is what's not getting done, or is there something that's gone from, fix a leaky valve to, we've got a major problem.
Right. I remember I don't remember what it was gonna cost to put something there in the, by
In the showers, yeah, what do we have?
Multiple thousands of
$8,000
dollars.
a room,
Well, our experiment is working very successfully. It's ADA compliant, put epoxy with a piece of rubber, I think 1/2 inch tall.
yeah.
Works like a champ,
You can roll over it.
working good.
So how many of them showers did they ask us to do?
I think all of them, on the 8 side.
So how many is that, 24?
Well, individual units.
I wanted $8,000 per unit. That was the bid those people gave us to put the shower, epoxy, whatever,
Right. Per cell block probably.
yeah.
So it's 16,000 just with 2 pots together. So, yeah, we
Saved a lot of money right there with some rubber stripping and some epoxy.
could got duct tape holder on when it done it too, so. Keep doing that.
We have, the Redneck Culinary Academy has a large cook this week, March the 8th. President Reagan had an adopted son, I believe his name is Michael.
Yeah.
And he'll be at Inheritance Adoption, at their annual banquet at Grace Church. Gonna be approximately 250 people. And they've asked the Redneck Culinary Academy to cook for that again this year, and we're honored to do that. We had did we talk about the Electra Fire Department?
Yes, that's good.
Where did that, good, that's it.
Okay. Commissioner Muller?
I will have an update on our annex roof situation later this week.
That's on the Scott Street Annex?
Yes, I'm sorry. I should have called that the Smythe Building, but the.
Smythe Project Building, I know.
Keep that clear.
'Cause we won't be able to get him through the door if he thinks that building's named after him.
I talked with Bobby O this morning, and he is going to be back with the adjuster. Warranty on that thing is very short. We don't know exactly where we stand. We're going to try to pull our copy and see where we are, but there's at least 3 major leaks in it. It just came unraveled when we had that rain, and most of you know about the one in the auditor's office, but also in indigent defense, and the appraisal districts reported one. So we've got some major challenges over there. That roof is getting out to the end of its life cycle, and we will get some information for you by later this week and let you know what the status is. They've not been able to do much because it continues to be wet up there, and they've got to get it dried off where they can examine it, but they're thinking that they've got water running under that cap, that plastic or rubber seal, whatever it is. So brace yourself. Looks like we've got maybe a pretty big project coming. Just an update on that. That'll come later. Ranch and Farm Expo starts the 8th, which is
Thursday.
that's Thursday, same day we're having our feed. There's CEUs available. If you've got people that need pesticide CEUs, they will be available both days, and it will be on the 8th and the 9th at the J.S. Bridwell Ag Center. Good program. Again, should be very successful. David Graff is having some medical problems, and I'm going to have to go over and try to help him keep the wheels turning on that, but hopefully he'll be better and can get around. But that's a great program, and once again, if you need CEUs, that's a good place to go pick them up, so you're certainly invited.
Hey, you said something that I want to brag on David Graff about. I found out that our farmers and ranchers were having to go to either Amarillo or Dallas-Fort Worth to take the test so that they could get their pesticide license. So I called David Graff and I said, David, why can't we give that test here locally? Why are they having to go to Amarillo or Dallas? He said, well, Lee, I can give you the number to my boss and I can help you try to see what we can do, but I just called his boss, and so did not really want to change the place. He didn't want to let it. They didn't want to have it here. But I found out that Midwestern State University is a testing site for other tests that they take, and so David asked the guy in Austin if we could add that to the list here. Anyway, it got approved. So our farmers and ranchers that have to do that, I think, annually, now do not have to go to.
For 2 years.
No.
Is it?
No.
I don't know how long it is, but they don't
Keep
have
your
to go.
CEUs up one time.
Oh, if you keep your seed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's,
But anyway, it's good that it's
Yeah.
here now. David Graff
it's
did
not
that
a big
for
deal
us.
because everybody keeps them up once you get it, but there will be a new producer come along that needs it or something.
Yeah.
If you slip and don't keep your CEUs up, they will pull it, and when you do, then you got to retake the test. And you got to have their training before you take the test, which is also interesting, but anyway, that's what the rules say.
Anyway, we got it locally. I think that was good, and I appreciate David doing that.
Okay. Mr. Watts.
Yes, I got to tell everybody, Friday, we were fortunate to attend Rex Tillerson's father's funeral
Yeah.
here in Wichita Falls, Texas. It was a grand funeral. I was extremely impressed, and if anyone had any reservations or concerns about what kind of fella the Tillerson Rex is or his family, rest assured that if he's across the world negotiating on our behalf, he has my full confidence. He is a man of God. Their family is tremendous. His dad worked for Tasty Bread here in Wichita Falls for 10 years, then went into Boy Scout administration, spent the rest of his life doing that. Tremendous from the moment his mom spoke initially till all the nephews and brother-in-laws sang, and
All 3 kids spoke.
unreal.
Awesome.
The kids had their, Rex gave a talk about his dad and Ecclesiastes, and I was thoroughly taken by what kind of guy this is. So
When you quote from Ecclesiastes, not everybody in the world does
that's
that.
right, that's right. And just, I mean, they were raised right, and I just, I can't tell you. I often wondered that. I wondered how a guy from, you know, a Exxon CEO, you know, they feel like they're hardened fellas that probably, but this is a solid cat. And so I was well taken with that. The Alexis has been working on our inventory in Precinct 4, and I wanted to ask a couple of questions here on the list for Precinct 5. Judy has, and I haven't got this list, we're carrying about $3 million in assets separate and apart from some of this list that we need to run through and break down further and let y'all look at. But some of the things that were here that I just wanted to find out about. We have a flagpole on here. Would that be the courthouse flagpole that was paid for with Precinct 5? Judge, would you know?
I don't know why Precinct 5 would have had a flagpole, but that's kind of like looking at the budget. I'm not sure why Precinct 5 has the spraying program in it, unless, because 60,000 can't be countywide. That's not enough money. But
It's not in precinct 5.
I don't think Precinct 5 was alive back when that flagpole was planted out there either.
No, I don't think so either.
I
What?
What's the
couldn't.
value on it, Jeff?
The value was $2,050.
There's a flagpole.
Is it?
I
Would it
don't
be
know,
the
that was the one
cemetery?
at 4 that was put in there. But I thought that flagpole was there when we acquired that building and all.
Well, the flagpole, I have it on my inventory list at Precinct 4. I
Okay,
have
so
a
you have, that's a
flagpole.
different, so
That's what
Should
caught
we-
my attention here, is that it was another flagpole listed.
should we report it stolen now?
Well, their standard, this equipment out front in the secretary's office, of course, covered, but let me ask you guys to see if some stuff stands out here. I have a drive gearbox and motor, TSF. It's a transfer to Precinct 5, like it came from another precinct. Would anybody know what that would be?
Read it again.
Drive gearbox and motor.
No brand, no.
No?
Our foremans will probably
It's
know
like a
about
what,
that.
Willie? Repair, maybe?
I bet, yeah.
Then there's a Ferguson SP912 rubber tire roller, 40 thou. Do we have a rubber tire loader that's
Loader?
Road.
roller?
Roller, yes.
I have
used to
a rubber tired roller.
Could it be a Precinct 5?
It's old.
Precinct 1's got one
Yeah,
too.
we've got one.
Yeah,
Would y'all look and see about an SP912?
It'll be a Ferguson. I think both of them are.
And then there's a Swenson PV358 sand spreader. I'm sitting on one of those. Came from TxDOT,
TxDOT, yeah.
but I just wonder if that belongs to Precinct 5. Or is there several? But then here's this one throwed me a curve. There's a Vermeer chipper here for 30 thou.
Yes.
But then there's a Vermeer brush chipper, extra set of blades, air, oil, gas filters for another 28 thou.
Good gosh.
Those are nice
Do we
filters.
have
Does
two
those have
chippers?
dates on them?
Yeah, the date here was 2011,
Well, Precinct 5 has a Vermeer chipper.
and I had it.
Yeah.
I think I'm setting on the Vermeer chipper that we have, but this.
Well, we have one in our yard too.
Yeah.
Well, that's yours though.
Yeah.
I took it back to you, Lee, and
We
we made.
got
What's your
one
rubber
through-
tire roller, Jeff?
It's an SP912. And,
I don't know how to find that in
but
here.
this Vermeer, who else is setting on a Vermeer chipper?
We use the Precinct 5 when in fact we need it here for long.
It's at my yard. Do you have one, Mark?
I have it's
Turn the page.
listed as a prairie chipper, so I don't know,
Okay.
it doesn't have a make on it, so.
Precinct 2 had a premiere, and Pat Norris acquired this Precinct 5 machine through Nortex. That was a Nortex grant from Willie,
So is that our
5, 6
only,
years ago?
our only two chippers then?
Yeah,
That are
I
Vermeer?
think that's
Okay.
right.
Well,
That
then
was
there's
new one, yeah.
there's a Roscoe Broom model OH7.
Flip it, let me see if you have it.
Self-propelled broom, what's the
Uh-huh.
value?
No value listed here, and it was put on in December of, December of '8.
Lee's got a broom, don't you, Lee?
Uh-huh.
A Roscoe Broom? Would you
Probably.
check and see if it's an OH7?
I'll just get that list from you later, when I have something to write on and stuff,
I'll
yeah.
go check it.
Here's one that I didn't know about, a 1990 Ford F900.
That's that. That may be that.
Is
yellow
that that
truck.
blue truck that we sold in the auction?
This is a big truck.
The TxDOT acquisition. That yellow truck we.
Read it again.
It's a
19
Ford 9000.
F900
Or 900.
1990.
It's a 900.
Ford,
Is that got
a
a
used
fifth wheel? It's a
1990
It's
model.
fitted tractor.
Tractor, yeah.
That yellow truck we've got is a Ford 900.
Well, I
It
bet
is.
that's it, Barry.
It could
then.
be. I don't
And
know
then
if
what
that's-
about the 96 Ford dump truck? Who's got it?
I don't have that.
Does anybody have a Ford dump truck?
There is a Ford dump truck that had a short bed on it, not as tall that we used. It had the auger on the back, Lee, to side dress the roads,
Oh,
and
really?
that was a Ford dump truck.
I have an '03 and an '06.
So Willie just,
But you
Or an
don't,
08.
But-
Do you have the one I'm talking about, Mark, that's got that
auger across
auger
the
on the
back?
side that you side dress those roads with? We used it not too long ago on a project. We had it on our yard, but it's not there now.
what's this?
But it is a Ford, and it's got a little smaller bed on it than what
That's a
those
Madman.
others had.
Buying damn thing around.
Okay, I've got a Roscoe asphalt distributor.
Oh, let's talk about the distributor for a minute. We sent that thing down to get it gone through,
Okay.
and we set a $15,000 limit. He was supposed to call us, tell us, hey, here's where we're at.
Right.
Well, when he did, he called us and said we were at 22,000. I said, buddy,
Missed it by this much.
you missed it. So anyway, he is working to try to get it down around 18,000. But the thing was trash, and it hadn't been cleaned properly. They had to take it apart and get the oil and stuff out of it turns to rubber, I guess, after a while.
Yep.
And it was terrible. So the guy recommended that we just bring it to him every year and let him do what he does to it every year and keep it, don't let it get like that. That's what he said. So anyway,
Who's been using it?
everybody uses it when we chip seal.
We've never used it.
You've never chip sealed it.
No, because we had our own that I sold in the auction. We never used that machine ever.
Well, there isn't many chip sealing done precinct 4 in, 4 or 5
Long
years,
time.
so that's the deal.
But I just wonder who didn't know how to keep it cleaned up after it was used. I mean, shouldn't you run a solvent or a solution through there
And they
that
do.
spray
And
that,
they do.
clean them heads
They do.
out?
They probably just didn't open all the valves.
Well, yeah.
Because I wasn't down there to see where it was stopped up at. He just said that just need to do a.
But they
Needs to have
can,
maintenance on it once a year, just like any other.
But every
piece of
time it's
equipment.
used, it's gotta be
It needs to be
properly
cleaned.
Yeah, probably clean.
purged.
Well, I don't know that we need to commit to spending $18,000 a year on it. I think.
No. That's to get it back up
I
to
think we
snuff.
need to just upgrade our maintenance and do it and move on.
That $18,000 should be just a one-time deal to get it back up to snuff. And then let him replace a valve or two that, if you do it every year, and this valve is giving you a hard time or whatever, those things are 300 and something bucks a piece, and there's
But
84 of them on there or something.
think there was that many, maybe.
There's a bunch.
Well, once you have a good maintenance plan on it and you've cycled it through a time or two, it's not gonna be as much.
Is that thing's 15 years old or so?
Getting close, I bet.
It's
I
not,
thought
a-
it was close to 2000 model when we looked. I know we were talking about
I
it.
don't even remember.
What is the life on that piece of equipment?
Well, I've been here
Taken
9
care
years
of a
and
long
been here all
time.
that time, so.
Well, I would not know the life expectancy. I guess it'd be forever if you take care of it.
for no more than it's used compared to, somebody that's in that business.
Yeah. I mean, when a valve breaks, put a new valve on it. But, if you take care of it,
Well, it looks good.
it does, yeah. We don't need to replace it at all. It's fine. We had the computer worked on, the rate was off.
Yeah, but it needs to be recalibrated.
It is.
so
But
it
didn't
can
our
shop
guys
rate.
go recently down there to kind of go
Yeah.
through some training on it and stuff?
Well, they took it down there, Sam and Leon took it down there to,
Well, I thought they went down there.
they took it down there.
Took it down.
And while they were there, they went over everything with the people.
Well, my Scott Delaney went down there too.
Did he
There
go?
were several people that went. There was
Okay.
like 5 or 6 that went down.
Okay, I thought it had already been down there, been recalibrated, and then they plotted a trip to go and,
We still haven't gotten it back yet.
Gotta find him an 18. That's
Storage
before you go down there and get it.
I just found 140. Right, Judge?
Right?
okay, so, well, that takes care of that. That was 107,000 in 2006. I guess that's what year model it is, so it's
Probably
about 12 years old. But there's an asphalt recycling machine that's had quite a few expenditures on it. They're all carrying here. Does anybody know what that is?
Probably the zipper.
Recycling?
It's the zipper, I would bet.
Is that zipper the one, that's not the zipper that is?
Goes on the front end loader.
Okay. And then what is an Alamo Timber Cat? Does anybody know? Is that
That's that thing you saw.
saw blade deal on the side of that tractor? That Massey that sticks up like
It
this,
could
that
be.
chops in
Yeah,
the ditches?
it could be,
Timber Cat?
could be.
Mark has that. What about a chip spreader,
Up our limits of liability.
an asphalt heater, and here's another distributor, one distributor.
We sold an asphalt heater in an auction sale about 6, 8 years ago that was,
I've got an asphalt heater.
You have an
Where you take the wand and put it in the cracks.
Okay. And then there was, these were odd to me here, a frigid lowering device located at precinct 1. Frigid. What would that
A
be?
what? A rigid lowering?
Frigid.
Frigid.
Lowering device.
I'm not showing it on my equipment, Chris.
County cemetery.
It's a, what is it?
oh, it's a burial deal.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then there is a series of radar units here from DPS. What would that be?
We got those years ago in a program, they were upgraded. They gave us their old ones and they went to the sheriff's office and
Why are they in precinct 5?
Because we were probably used to receiving things from DPS and TxDOT and no other department would be my guess. And probably had the proper paperwork to do it, would be.
Okay, the Gradall that we sold, would that have been an 82? Because the next one on this list is a Gradall.
You have that information on the Gradall that you sold. It's in your briefcase.
Yeah, I don't think I have the year model on it. We didn't have a
There's
title.
not a title to it?
Mm-mm. No, it didn't have a title
It's a
to it.
motorized vehicle, it has to have a title.
No, it didn't, or that tractor, either one.
Well, the tractor I can see, but
But I figured that's the oldest, because yours is 2003, that older one? Because didn't we buy a 2006 or something, roughly?
I don't remember the year numbers.
was it a Massey?
The which one?
No, it was
The Great All.
Great All.
Was it Great All?
It was a great,
Well, I'm seeing a 82 Massey that was in
That's
the
a
junk
tractor.
list.
that's a
So
tractor.
What about a Malden bituminous paver?
Bituminous.
Bitumatic.
What is that?
It's a laydown machine.
Where would it be? Or did
You
we
sold it.
We sold one.
to Bogart?
You sold it.
I thought that was a Caterpillar, because I had a Caterpillar in,
Is
that I
that,
turned in lay-down machine. to-
That's the only asphalt machine I've
what's the
seen.
value on that?
It was 6,509.
I bet you that's a drag box, not a paver.
Probably. We've got an old drag box, but it's not.
There's a Timco sweeper here, Timco.
Mm-hmm.
The 99 trucks on here. There's a 2003 Great All and a chip spreader, a 2004 Entry chip spreader.
Entire.
Entire?
Yeah.
Entire. That's that old chip spreader that we've got.
I'll make y'all a list of this and
Yeah.
see if y'all can identify some of these.
That's the old
Nancy,
chip spreader that we went back to every
those-
time we tried to use the new
I
one.
don't know how to make that longer. Okay, we can go through that, and if y'all have got any of that, stuff, no.
Bunch of
I
that
just
stuff
wanna
is
make
gone.
sure, well, I wanna make sure that we get it off the books from the auction, that's what I've diligently been going through with Jude, because I'm afraid some of that's double booked. Like the Caterpillar laydown machine, and then there's a laydown machine on here, and I'm only aware of one laydown machine we have.
That's the only one I've seen.
Well, there was one at your yard, Lee. Is that the same one we sold?
No,
There was one over there.
not in my yard.
Well, there
Give
was
me a
at
cause
one
that
time.
list, and I'll have Leon go through it.
'Cause I went over and
The
looked
list
at
that
it.
we've already put
But I mean,
together.
that's,
Well, we might have borrowed it or
I
something.
mean, that's 6, 8 years ago. We were trying to get it to work. I don't know. It was a hand-me-down from probably Ted's dad.
Well, I haven't seen a laydown machine except at precinct 4.
Okay. That might have been the same one. If you'll look on your paperwork for your budget, you're gonna find all kinds of stuff that you don't have anymore.
Well, that's because it won't come
It
off.
won't
You
come off.
can't-
I've got motor graders going back several decades. And,
But Munis, they'll be able to come off from Munis, right?
Yeah, but well, I think these can come off, she can at least code them that we don't own them, or that a sell date or something on there, and that's what I wanted to make sure we made the adjustment before I got off of the subject.
Okay, anything else?
That's everything, Judge, sorry to take that.
That's all right, no. Only thing I've got on tomorrow, might be an important day for a few people, election day.
election day. Yeah.
The 31 locations will be open. You have to go to the one you're registered for. There'll be boxes, so you'll have multiple election precincts using one box, but it's the same county standard 31. And that decision was made by the parties to do that. We're going to hope the county elections, we will use vote centers. The primary elections run by the parties, we don't control them. So people will need to look at, I think the newspaper will probably run that. I looked at today's paper, see if it's in there or tomorrow.
I didn't see it today, Judge.
So hopefully it'll be in there tomorrow. The television stations are really good about having it on their website. And but if people will look at that, or they can call the county clerk's office and they will look it up and tell them if they don't have their voter registration card where they are.
Anybody hear a final number on early vote?
No, I didn't get a chance to check with her this morning on that. She was busy trying to get ready for tomorrow.
Checked with the election workers in Burton, they said they had a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, well, it turned out we did here too, and the 2 partial days we lost didn't seem to really hurt anything. So, okay, it is 11:06 and we're adjourned.